Everybody, we are live. Anthony will be joining us shortly. He was having some technical difficulties, so he's resetting his router. So he should be in within a couple of minutes. Tommy the Bargain Effect, joined by Nate this morning. Every day I'm hustling.
Good morning, everybody.
I love that name. We just gotta find a way to make it easier to search you on YouTube, man.
Right, I always have to search. Like I always tell people, you have to search basically every day I'm hustling on eBay or reseller or whatever. Uh, my buddy Rick Ross is just killing me in the search results.
Right.
I don't know if I'll ever beat him and come up like towards the top or whatever. Because I mean, look how many views like all of his videos and stuff has. It's an uphill battle that I probably would never be able to defeat, but we'll see if we can give it a shot.
What if you just added like eBay or Amazon, since you do Amazon too, into the end of your name, like every day I'm hustling eBay or Amazon or something like that?
Man, I guess I could. It would just be super long.
It'd be longer, but people would. It might tell them like, unless you're personally telling them, hey, search me like this, or they see that in a video. But if somebody says, hey, go check out this every day, if they say go check out every day I'm hustling, they're going to come up Rick Ross. But if they say every day I'm hustling Amazon and they search that, you'd pop up probably right away.
Yeah, either that or I should maybe spell it a certain different way. Spell it every day a little like different or weird, just to make a play with it so it's different.
Yeah, we'll figure something out to make it easier. But we got quite a few people in here this morning. Good to see everybody. I'll go through and do our hellos. Steven Scroggin was first in the house. That's awesome. Sandollar, good morning. Kelly, the Ecom Mom. The Cherry Picker. Them flipping crooters. I was starting to wonder. I haven't seen a whole lot of her. I was starting to think something was wrong. DC Sells, as Anthony says, the master of the license plates. T Flips, good to see you. Steampunk Town, hello. Kids, Deals, and More. That's a new name to me, I think. Good to see you in here. Michelle Lathan. How you doing, Michelle? David Rubino. Just me, Kathy. I did not get your email, Kathy. Try again. TheBargainEffect at gmail.com. Don the Bargain Hunter, Moronic Pest. Good morning to all you. Good to see you in here. We're just waiting on Anthony. He's rebooting his router. We'll get into the topic a little bit. I'm having a personal issue with the topic, so I figured it'd be good for a talk today. Maybe it'll inspire me a little bit. Having focus issues.
I just took an offer on a Stephen Barry's like sweatshirt that I found. It had a Corvette logo. It was all black with a Corvette across of it. So I took an offer for $22 plus shipping on it. That was like literally as soon as the show started, like I heard like pitching. So that was a great way to start my morning. So I got two things going on.
For Stephen Barry's, that's pretty good. I remember when they came out, man.
Yeah, they had a couple different things that they came out with. Like they came out with like a button down line. It was because I have like two of their shirts that have like these like weird flames on them and stuff. It was like just really wild designs and stuff, like with dragons and stuff like that. Then they had the sports side, and then they did like the cars and like the NASCAR side, I guess, of it or whatever.
Right.
So I've been finding their stuff like here and there, and depending on what the thing is on it or whatever. Like the Corvette thing was really good. I was seeing comps for $29.99, so I threw it up for there, and then I just took an offer for $22. I'll take it for. I think at most I paid $5 for it, so I'll make 15 or so on that. So
it's cool. I remember when they came out, they had like those pleather jackets.
Yeah, they had like all the sports teams and yeah.
I used to have a whole bunch of them because I don't remember. They were only like $10 or something, $12 in the mall stores. So I had all kinds.
They were so cheap that I don't know if that ended up working against them because they weren't making as much per item or whatever, and they were kind of really skimming off the top, basically making a little bit of money on each. But yeah, I definitely remember how cheap the stuff was. You know what I mean?
Right. Michelle, that's good to hear. Finally get that car back on the road.
Yeah, nothing worse than not having a car up and running and stuff like that because you're stuck in the house. And
I'm telling you, if my car took a dump on me, it would hurt so bad.
Me too. All I have one car, so going to work and everything, it'd be done. I'd be over with.
And we live in a small town, so we don't have like mass transit. We don't have city buses. We don't even have Uber drivers around here, because it's just not big enough for anybody to do it.
Yeah, there's no Uber around here. That we just started getting DoorDash, which is kind of cool. So if I'm at work or whatever, and my wife wants to get something like quick and easy for the kids, she'll just order something different than like pizza every day, or because that's basically all you can get unless you have DoorDash. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it limits what you can get or whatever. But yeah, if my car went down, sourcing would be over. Getting to work would be an issue. Going to the post office, I'd have to rely on my mail carrier to pick up my mail, which uh, I've had one time they didn't pick up any of it, so it's not a good situation.
Okay. All right, I got your email now, Kathy. Since you have a dishwasher, I'm just going to send you one. I'm not going to invoice you. You just run them through your dishwasher a bunch of times and let me know how that works out. I think we have it where their dishwasher is safe, but I need to verify it. So I'll just send you one out. Do you have a dishwasher, Nate?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you get yours too, give it a good run it through the dishwasher, and if it fails, we'll make you another one and try to perfect it. All right, then we have them here. You look a lot better.
Holy shit!
Time.
He's not pixelated. He doesn't look like one of those little those pixel dolls or whatever. That's what you're looking like over there. You just look like something from Minecraft.
Yeah.
You look.
So I do look like that, or I don't look like that.
No, you're good now. You're HD right now.
I'm good.
Nice. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Like it's storming really bad here today. Although yesterday, like I don't know, tech it was either. I was having issues the whole day, internet wise. So I'm glad I can finally see everybody and be understood now.
Yeah, that was crazy. It would be quiet 1 second, then next thing you know, we're like talking over each other, and like because it was like a mini like delay, like with your your connection yesterday. So
Yeah,
this will be smooth sailing.
which was weird because the minute like Tommy clicked off yesterday after we were off air, like when it was just me and you, it was fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the problem was, but I had the same issue with Bible study too. Like people could hear me, then they couldn't hear me, and it was just a mess. And it was only two of us in Bible study, and for a while there it was just me, and there was still a problem.
Yeah, it was weird yesterday. Like right before we went live, it wasn't bad. Like I could understand you. Your picture was a little pixelated, but it was you could hear you and you weren't lagging or anything. And then as soon as you hit the live button, it was like it just like started. So it had to be something with your router or your internet or something like that.
I need to put a hat on, huh, Don? Why you're seeing my balding head that's still all messed up from waking up at 9:30. I rolled out of bed and ran downstairs.
I
All
just
right, I'm
wanted
about to
to.
show my game. Good morning, Kathy.
I think because both of us have hats on, so
Hey, I want to give a quick shout out to Kelly Hip Flippin' Mama and Ryan from Thrift Mine. It's their birthdays today, so if you guys see them, show them some love.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in here yet, but we'll definitely watch for him.
Cool.
Yeah, Tech. The mugs, they're not sublaminated. They're actually a laser transfer, and then we're treating them on top of that. So that's what we're testing out. Yeah, I know sublam there'd be no question.
So have you guys gotten into the topic at all yet?
No, we were waiting on you before we jumped in there. We were just kind of talking about whatever. But yeah, the topic today is how to stay focused on your business, which I'm currently struggling. Actually, I'm not struggling on staying focused on business. I think business all the time. Yeah. But what the problems I'm having with focus is which one to focus on when. When I'm down here listing, I'm thinking about what's going on upstairs with the t-shirt part, other business. And when I'm up there, I'm thinking about, man, I need to be downstairs listing, and I can't, you know, and then dealing with the everyday distractions. You know, we got a little vacation from the kids. They're by the aunts till the end of the week, and then they're coming home for the weekend, and then they want to go back because they have much better trick-or-treating in that part of the state where the aunt lives. So it's like, yeah, we have too much of a meth problem around here. Last year there were so many people putting junk in kids' candies. It's like, yeah, let them go to the richer, safer places, you know.
Really? That's crazy, man. Like, why would someone do that to kids? Like, it's sad, man.
That's what I don't understand. There's a couple of things I don't understand about it. It's like, why would they want to do that to a kid? You know, what satisfaction do they get out of it?
Right.
And for two, why would they want to spend the money on the crap to do that to a kid?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, most people I know from history that, you know, the druggies I knew didn't want to share their drugs. So why are these people giving it away to poison kids, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
Unless they're trying to get them hooked.
Maybe. We are a pretty bad town. We're a very bad town for meth.
If a kid eats something like that, it could be fatal, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe they stole your business plan, Tommy, where they're trying to send out samples to get affected. I don't want to make a joke of it, but I mean, it just makes no sense why they'd be giving up meth.
I mean, like, literally, it probably would, it possibly could kill them or make them very ill, and be in the hospital for weeks or months at a time. So
yeah,
that's the one thing that if anybody has any kids, be super cautious of candy this year, because they have candy that looks made exactly to look like certain candy, like the wrappers and stuff like that, and it'll say like THC on it or whatever, because of those gummies and things that they have now because of marijuana being illegal now. I saw something on the news, like it was literally like exactly what some gummies look like. I can't think of a brand right now, but and then right in a small corner it said THC or something, like made with THC. So that was the only way you can really tell, unless you open it up or whatever. So if you have kids, be very careful. I know with mine, I'm going through everything with a fine-tooth comb and maybe taste test a piece here and there. Just to be safe.
Right.
I'm so happy that our kids are getting to the age where hopefully next year we can talk them. I mean, they were borderline this year, so by next year we should be able to talk them into handing out candy instead of going and getting it. You know, I'd rather buy them a mixed bag each of candy from the store and then buy them a couple bags to hand out, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel so much safer with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a crazy world we live in,
It's insane, man.
When you can't even have your kids go trick-or-treating when you got razor blades and candy bars, or you have meth or THC candy or whatever. And you're giving out to kids. I mean, that's
right. Yeah, and I remember that started with my younger brother, where people were putting the razor blades in. You take it like to the parks, and they'd have the X-ray machines. You could get it X-rayed, but now they're putting stuff in there you can't X-ray.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so like meth. How can you X-ray meth?
Right.
There's probably a couple tweakers going back in several different costumes.
Yeah, right. And then this town that we're in is another reason we want to get out of here. I mean, it's bad with meth and heroin, all the way up to like on a county level of involvement. And it's horrible. They got the house next door to us. They're dealers. They deal all the time.
Yeah.
And we said, we asked the cop to traffic there. It's incredible, And they're like, well, we know what we're doing. We're just trying to build a case. And, if you want to use your surveillance cameras and try to catch some footage, it's just like, do your job. I ain't getting paid your fucking money. You sit there, you watch it. They don't do nothing to them. These people come and go all day long, and they don't even question them. Yesterday, me and Destiny are out. We did a little bit of sourcing. My plates are 2 days expired. Didn't realize it. Part of my focus issue, I mean, I knew about it. I got the renewal slip on refrigerator. I just forgot about it with everything else going on. They pull me over for that. But they won't pull these people that they know are doing a drug transaction or a deal. They just look the other way.
It's that whole situation is it could be crazy, because sometimes the police could be involved in a negative way. I'm not saying that always happens, but or if they are building a case, they need people either to go in and make buys, or like you said, hopefully pulls them over for doing something wrong. If they're doing something wrong, like turn signal or whatever, and then they can pull them over and then do a search of the vehicle, and then hopefully come up with something. So
Lonnie says, obviously, I think you should check the candy. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, if they're injecting like heroin or whatever, I don't know if meth comes in liquid form or not, but I mean, if they're like using needles, and how long it's going to take you to go through a bag. I mean, you can definitely try to check your candy for like any wrapper tamperings or anything. But other than that, how do you check it? You take a bite of your candy bar before you give it to your kid and see if you get messed up or what? Oh, this one's good. You can have a half candy bar. Oh, this one's good. You can have a half candy bar. This one I'm keeping.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately you have to look at every wrapper and everything to make sure if it was tampered with, have a hole in it or anything. You know what I mean? I don't know if, like, drugs, when it gets wet and injected in something, it will, just soak up in the candy or whatever, but something worth looking up to see if that's even a worry, because I don't know if that would dilute it and kill it off or whatever, the effect of what it would do, I guess, or I don't know.
I don't know if Lonnie just jumped in here or not. No, we haven't seen needles in candy. What people did last year is they're contaminating candy with meth and heroin.
Somebody in the chat said they've seen needles.
Oh, they've seen needles?
Yeah.
And I imagine people are just stupid.
Lonnie says the worst thing he's dealt with is candy corn. Yeah, I've never had any issues either. We've heard about stuff on the news here, but I've never had any issues with candy.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I've ever heard around here was way back when I was young, the razor blade thing, and then they're talking about the THC stuff because of the candy looking exactly like it was, because I guess there was a bust and there were some gummies that literally looked 99% like the wrapper looked exactly the same.
Justin's asking if anyone else is listing this morning. I'm sure pretty much everyone. We try not to during this show just so we can focus for the most part. But yeah, I'm sure pretty much everyone's going to be listing. At least I will as soon as we're done here.
I had two sales today.
What's up?
Remember that thing I was talking about yesterday with it was a Star Wars turns like
Yeah.
basically in a jack-o'-lantern. That
Yeah.
sold for this morning.
What's up?
I was pretty happy about it. This was a bins find from this weekend. So I'm happy that got out because I was worried it was gonna sit and basically be stuck till next year.
Lonnie says, "Where's the weed candy house?" He's asking for a friend.
Well, that's what they're saying in the news over here that they found a big bust or something. That's where all the THC like candy that I was seeing on the news was from. So for us to beware is what they said. So
It just seems like a waste of money to hand out PhD candy.
Lisa says she might put on a costume for that.
Well, resellers probably have access to like multiple costumes. So there you go.
All right.
I'll go dressed as a reseller.
Halloween flips.
Well, see, now I don't even know. This is part of what I was talking about. The focus. We started talking about focus on business, and I'm talking about Halloween candy. I don't even remember how we got there.
I don't know either.
Yeah, for me, like being part-time, working full-time, and basically reselling part-time, but really full-time. Focus for me has to be on point because I don't have the time to get a lot of things done if I would push something off or whatever. So, I try to really, at least get something done every day. If my Amazon stuff's done, then like last night I came home and I listed a couple things I had from the bins, and like I try to pack my stuff at night, so this way if I not that I really ever get hammered shipping, but I always like being prepared, getting stuff packed, and just to have it done. And this way, if I sleep in because I'm up so late, it doesn't affect me, with time with the kids or anything like that. So, but yeah, I gotta stay focused because if not, my business can easily drop, easily, and doing both Amazon and eBay, it takes a lot of time, you know what I mean? Sourcing and, on my days off and packing. And then, eBay is basically an everyday thing, where I'm listing and shipping and doing stuff like that. So, I might not have, larger periods like maybe you guys do since you guys are full time, but, for the very short periods I have, free time after work, I'm really, getting as much done possible, that I do. Some days are worse, some days are better, but I'm always trying to get something accomplished. Keep listing, keep adding stuff to my catalog on eBay and Amazon.
For sure. Yeah.
I think one thing that would help me solve my problem, because like I say, it's okay, you got Nate, you're working a full-time job, and then you're doing your eBay, Amazon, and when you leave your job though, are you in one of them jobs that where you don't have to think about it until you go and punch in the next day? I mean, there's nothing to take home with you, right?
Yeah, basically I try to forget my job as soon as I come home.
Right. See, and that's kind of the nice part, because like I kind of look at with having multiple businesses. We're starting a t-shirt thing. I got the eBay thing. We want to get into Amazon, and then I got some other things on the side. But it's like, but every one of them requires like constant attention. I can't just turn one off and say, okay, well, I'm not dealing with eBay today, because
Right.
if I do, it's going to hurt. So if I say, well, tomorrow I'm going to put all my focus on the printing, well, then I'm not going to get nothing listed. I'm not going to respond to emails promptly, so it's going to hurt that.
Right.
And if I say, okay, well, I'm focusing and I'm zoning in on eBay, well, then the printing part, even though Destiny's doing a majority of it, she has problems with the technical parts. She's great at designing. She's great at laying the stuff out. She's great at doing the stuff after I figure out how to do it, you know. So it's like if I focus on eBay, I don't get, so I try to do a little bit of each day, but it's so distracting because, like I say, when I'm up there working on that, I'm like, man, I should get that stuff listed down there. And then when I'm down here, I'm like, I should be up there helping her out so we can get that going faster, or I should be out searching for Amazon product. You know, it's just my focus is all over the board. And I'm trying to figure out how to zone it in. I guess time management and focus where it's going to be most beneficial, because right now it seems like I'm doing this, but not accomplishing anything at any rate that I'd like to be.
Right. Yeah. Like the thing that I struggled with when I was off for a whole week, you know, so basically I was a full-time reseller, was exactly what you're talking about. Like I would do multitasking, like on YouTube or doing whatever, and then, you know, I started listing, and the next thing I kind of dripped off into doing something or watching a show or whatever, and then I'm not getting anything accomplished. So towards the end of my, you know, basically my reselling vacation, you would say, or whatever, but, you know, I started doing like basically breaking my thing down and, you know, my day into like blocks, like where I would do, okay, I'm going to go look for online arbitrage for an hour or two. And then, you know, I'll list for 4 hours or 2 hours. And then, you know, I have my family time where, you know, we'll watch a movie or do something or, you know, play a game or whatever. And then, you know, I'll set more time to the end, you know, for maybe YouTube, like, because I was starting to do videos or whatever back then. So that's what I started to do when I was, you know, when I was full time. You know, basically for that short period I was off, you know, just trying to manage, you know, the bubble basically of or try to the best I could, because I was finding myself not doing, you know, nearly as enough that, you know, like you know, that I should have or whatever.
Yeah. And maybe that's what I should do is set time slots apart each day. Like say, okay, I'm going to get up, and, you know, I get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I do a lot of eBay stuff then. So maybe that's how I should do it. When I get up, I do my eBay stuff. We'll do the show, and then maybe work till lunchtime, and then after lunch go and work on the t-shirts till 3 o'clock, and then go do some sourcing or whatever after that in the evening and catch dinner. I don't know, something like that.
I don't often have that much scheduling in my day. I know whenever I get up, first thing I like to do is start working on shipping. So I'll do that. And then if I have like a lull in between shipping, like if I'm waiting on payments or something, then I'll get a few listings up, and typically I'll, you know, then pop on for the show if it's a weekday. After that, I finish up shipping and I try to start on listing. I might go grab lunch, you know, a little bit after that, but a lot of it depends on how I'm feeling at any certain day. You know what I mean? Like, yesterday I had so much shipping I needed to do that I didn't even do any listing at all yesterday. So, like, I put up a goose egg for the day because by the time we got done with this, like, because I was shipping before this, I was actually packing a little bit during this, finished after this, ran upstairs, had something to eat, ran to the post office, came back. It was time to do Bible study. After that, Ashley came home early, so I basically just spent the evening hanging out with her.
See, John, I think this is part of my problem too. Like John Jones says, he often struggles with spending more time thinking about researching ways to add streams than actually putting the ideas into practice. Mm-hmm. And I agree with that. I see myself in that situation a lot too. I spend so much time researching stuff and then not applying it. I go on to researching more, you know.
Yeah,
that's one thing that maybe not on the streams, but like just sourcing online. Like I'll soak up a good bit of time, you know, doing that sometimes, where, you know, now I'm not getting as much accomplished on eBay because there's a lot of days that I won't list. You know what I mean? And we all know that's not a good idea. You know what I mean? But I do make sales like pretty normally or whatever, like maybe one or two every other day or whatever. Sometimes I'll have goose eggs, but my store has never been like a super active, selling machine. I run promotions and do, the different stuff. Maybe my stuff's maybe a little higher price, maybe. But for me, eBay is like my gravy train, like my huge. Every time I make a sale, it's like a nice chunk of money. You know what I mean? So maybe it's the way I would set up, but that's one thing that I always see. To me is I'm always looking for that deal, either on Facebook Marketplace or, from a store with they'll have a special kind of coupon deal or clearance or whatever. Like I was telling Anthony about the other day about Hot Topic because they had a couple Funkos. I thought there would be more. They had a few of them, but it was nothing spectacular for resale. So I didn't grab any, but they had plushes and different stuff. But it was like really, for what they had price wise and stuff, it was a great deal. So I'm looking up every item because it was such a good deal. And then I didn't even buy anything because it just didn't make any sense, for what it was going for online right now. So, that was basically, it was a great opportunity, but it was just nothing I could, take advantage of.
DC sells. He said that's key, being able to do something even though you don't feel like it or want to. Having to resolve and focus and do it anyway is one of the downfalls of being self-employed. No bosses, no whip. Yeah, that's true too. I almost wish I had like a production manager type person to tell me, hey, Tom, we need to get this done. This has got to be done today. This has got to be done today. You got to do it. That's it. It's got to be done. Because me, it's like, yeah, I can do it later. Oh, yeah, let's go grab something to eat. I'll do it after dinner. And then, it's just.
Tell you what, for 10%, I'll be the official YouTube content creator, whip, like slave master driver. So literally all I'll do all day is I'll message you guys like, come on, get to work.
I can hire you as my Anthony's out for hire. He's going to be a BA motivator.
Yeah.
I'll be your virtual pain in the rear end.
Will this all of a sudden pop up on your screen? Did you get this done yet?
You can do it.
I'll just be like super annoying with it too. So that way you'll be grinding, just trying to keep me away from you.
Right.
That sounds like my boss and my job. But like sometimes I work so hard and get my stuff done so fast just because I don't want him, harassing me or whatever. So he's good for that. So
see, and same more productivity your job does, man. So I can be that for you guys.
That wouldn't be such a bad idea if all of a sudden Anthony's like, hey, it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. How come I only seen you listed 3 things?
Come on, Tommy. What's eBay paying you for, man? Let's get in motion, buddy.
Right? That I guess that'd be kind of like an accountability partner, eh?
Yeah, I mean, we could. I mean, we honestly we could do with the 3 of us or other people if they wanted to. Just like, every other day, like, everyone switch around or whatever, and be like, hey, what'd you get done today? And just kind of. Obviously you want to volunteer for this. We wouldn't want anybody to like, not want to be harassed or bothered with, but you know what I mean? Like,
harassing would be the driving force behind me wanting to do it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we'd want to make sure that someone volunteer would want the possible harassment of making sure that you're on task and doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I wouldn't mind it sometimes, especially on my days off.
Yeah.
Lisa C said there's money there. Create a nagging app. There's Craig's next project.
Yep.
You can create a nagging app. That'd be cool.
Download it for $39.99.
John Jen says electric shock collars controlled by each other.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat.
Maybe we can set up something with like Alexa to where like my voice comes up like list. Kind of like the cherry picker saying, "Hey, get the listing for great job." Every
Well,
time you post a
I
listing,
think,
I'll say great job, and every time like you're clicking on YouTube or Netflix or whatever, I'll be like, "Hey."
yeah, I think we need to get that group together, a Facebook group together for this, and then like every morning I'll start it off and I'll be like what my goal is to accomplish that day, and then people can add that, and then maybe the next morning go back and say how far I got. Did I exceed it? Did I fail?
Mhm.
It would almost be like a post that you can even run on like as a journal. You know what I mean? Like every day, put your thing, and then people can reply like "good job" or whatever, or "come on, you got to do better," or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that, where you just keep the that same one going, so you can see how productive like the last couple of days have been. Like what your goals have, and look back and say, well, geez, I wanted to get this done. I didn't even get that done till that was Monday. Today's Thursday, and I still haven't got that done. You know what I mean? You can kind of keep, have like a plan or like, thing of what to expect or hopefully what you get done.
Yeah, that's true. Facebook can be part of the problem for people that kind of get sucked into time vortexes on there.
Yeah, that does.
That's the one thing. Like ever since I really started reselling, like really, really, going at it, especially with Amazon adding to it, I basically eliminated Facebook from like my whole, actually social media other than YouTube, from my whole thing. Basically, like I have Instagram and stuff like that, but I don't use it that much. Like if I work, I might browse and say hi to some people or respond to some stuff, but I'm just so busy.
The only thing I really use Facebook for is I don't even have my own account. I just use my wife's, and I pretty much just use it to like message people.
You're
I
better
dropped
off.
a link to the Facebook group for any of you guys that aren't a part of that would like to get sucked into that time vortex where we can annoy you. Feel free to join.
Right, D? I think some guy, I think his name is Garage Flips, I think, or something like that, has a momentum board or something like that. It's
Yep,
pretty good idea, huh?
it's an awesome idea.
I have a dry erase board, and I told my wife, I says, I need to like stick this somewhere, and especially on the listing part, and we just haven't found like a good spot to put it, or I keep forgetting to try and set it up or whatever, and so I can have my own like momentum board. It has like a nice like saying on it too, like it's almost like a momentum, like I don't know, it's like has some kind of comment like basically for like like great job or keep it going or something like that. Like it has it already printed at the top, so it's like it's almost made for being a momentum board. Yeah, I definitely want to set that up, Lonnie, for sure. It's one way to keep yourself accountable, and then you could see, you can even look back and say, look, well, I listed this much stuff, this many dollar amount, and look back at your sales and see if that affected your sales for like the week after or whatever the case is, and you know, it it shows your progress, and if you're uh, listing more stuff or whatever and seeing how things go.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Just Me Kathy has a little calendar journal, I'm guessing like a planner type thing that she writes it. That's not bad. That way you don't even have to erase it at the end of the month. It's a good idea,
Yeah, that would be cool.
especially if you use it every day. That way it'll keep you accountable. Unless you're like me, like I've had dozens of those things that I just put in a drawer somewhere and then I forget about. The nice thing about Lonnie's is he can't even leave the shed without looking at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta do something. I gotta come up with something because I know I should be making a lot more progress than I am. My eBay has fell off horribly.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one struggle with multiple streams. You got to do multiple different, more. You have to do more things. You know what I mean? It's more intensive. In different aspects. I mean, especially once you get it really going where you're printing a lot and stuff like that. It's gonna Destiny's gonna be really getting really busy. I'm sure she'll be really doing a lot of tech fixes and stuff for her when stuff has issues or whatever. So
I find one thing that's been really limiting my momentum as far as what I get done: lack of space. Like, for example, just for me to get closer to the computer just now, I had to move 4 boxes out of the way of stuff that is either waiting for payment to be shipped or being packed or whatnot. Like, I have crap everywhere. That's what's been nice about doing the Monday night auctions, is I can just basically throw a whole bunch of stuff that I just don't feel like listing in boxes and send it out the door. But like, lack of space kills me. Like, you guys see from like here up where it's like organized, but like the floor is like, I can't even move my chair around without kicking stuff out of the way. And I mean, it's all stuff that's like in boxes or bags, so it's not like I have inventory just scattered, but like I have too much of it everywhere. So that like kills me. Like, I need to take a day just to like get organized. And the bulk auctions have been like a lifesaver to me, because like it's really helped me just get a whole bunch of stuff that I have no interest in listing. Like, a lot of the stuff that I bought like a year ago, what I mean? For example, that I just haven't gotten around to listing because I'm not excited about it. You know what I mean? Like, I even talked to Derek. I was like, dude, I have all of these Hot Wheels. Like, are you interested in maybe swapping for something that I'd be more interested in listing? You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Like, right. I think I don't want to niche down, but I don't want to buy bulk in things that I just don't feel like listing. You know what I mean? That's going to take me a while to like research each piece and stuff like that, because the more work it takes me to list something, the less I want to list it. And the more I'll just keep churning through other stuff and leaving that just kind of sitting in a pile somewhere.
Is it high dollar amount stuff, or is it just like you said, it's kind of hard to?
It's a little bit of both,
or whatever.
Like, for example, like I have good clothing. I just hate clothing. Like, I don't like measuring it. I don't like having to take it upstairs so I can put it, hang it up against the wall that doesn't look like a paint chipped basement. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, like, having to like take the show upstairs, I lose all momentum, because I'm down here, I'm churning through stuff, and then I end up just throwing all my clothing in a pile, and eventually it piles up, and then I just don't feel like dealing with it.
I'll tell you what, I'll send you a tote of miscellaneous video game stuff I have here. I've got games, controllers, consoles, accessories, and you send me a tote to your clothing.
Okay.
Wow, that's the deal.
Maybe that would work, because I don't want to do the video games. I don't want to take the time to hook them up to the TV to test them out. I'm not a video game person, so it's not exciting for me. It's like, oh man, I gotta run these cords and do this and do that. I'd rather list clothing.
Wow. See, I'm the opposite. And then every once in a while I get, the inkling to want to do the Hot Wheels, but typically it's like I hit up Derek. Okay, Derek, what should I list this at? What should I list that at? And I'll put like a little cheat sheet together of the stuff that it's worth. And then sometimes like something will happen, like where I'll have to like run out and do something, and then I'll come back and be like, dang, I just like lost all desire to do these Hot Wheels now. But
see, we should do that, Anthony. When we get together for our meetup after the beginning of the year, sometime, whether we come by you or you come by us, man, just load up with the stuff you'd be interested in and just make a swap. It's a lot easier to list things that you like listing.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to list things.
I'd be interested in like Death Pal bartering. You know what I mean? Like, okay. So, because I would like video games, I'm real into, like the action figures I'm real into listing. Like I can sit there all day and just churn through that stuff. Even video games that need like tested, that need repaired, like the old stuff, I can depending on what's wrong with it, I can pretty much refurbish the old systems. Like right now, I have like 8 Sega Genesis that are all fixed, ready to sell.
Oh, you can fix all the old systems?
For the most part, yeah. Depending on what's wrong with them.
I'm glad to know that now. I'll start picking up systems that are broken.
Yep.
I'll just make sure to pay accordingly for them. And
the only thing that I struggle with is the whole soldering thing. Like I need to teach myself to solder. Once I can do that, then I can fix anything. As far as the old stuff, like the newer stuff with like that's like advanced and stuff, I don't even want to say I can do anything with that stuff because I'll probably just end up breaking it worse. But like the older stuff that's like simple, like I can do all that stuff. I learned a lot of that just by watching. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Green Bean. He's a video game hunter and he's a reseller. He has a series on his channel where he actually goes through and he'll fix a lot of like the older stuff. So I watch a lot of his stuff. Thanks, Lonnie. EEV blog. I'll actually go and subscribe to that right now. That way, because I'll end up forgetting.
I saw my buddy. He used to solder and do some stuff with Xboxes to hook them up. So you can like copy games to the hard drives or whatever.
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to put those mod chips in them.
All right, cool. I just subscribed to them. So yeah, I'm gonna learn how to do that, and then I'll literally be able to even offer the service to refurbish anything, like for people, because Green Bean has people send him stuff from all over the world that they want, like, hey, I found this at a garage sale. It's like a, Game Gear or whatever. Can you fix it and get it working so that I can either have it for myself or keep or resell it or whatever, So I'd like to be able to offer that at like a low price for people, but I mean. A lot of times it would probably have to be for people that want to keep it because the shipping it to me and back is going to be like pretty much eating up your profits.
Unless you became like a GameStop for broken consoles, you pick them up dirt cheap and be able to fix them and flip them, Well,
the reason I have so many Sega Genesis is because I bought up 3 lots of broken Sega Genesis.
Yeah. See, I don't know
how we're working on, but for the most part, like it's easy fixes. Like a lot of it, you could just pretty much just have to open up, clean. Sometimes the pins get bent, or like the other day we were doing a working hangout. There was something rattling. I'm like, okay, either some dumb kid put change in here, or something's busted on the inside. It was a freaking dime. You know what I mean? Some kid stuffed a dime inside of it, and because of that, whoever sold it was like, oh yeah, this is defective. And literally there was nothing. I didn't even have to fix it. All I had to do was open it up and take the dime out and screw it back together.
I don't know over the last 3-4 years how many consoles, I've actually just tossed because I pick them up at the flea market for a couple of bucks or whatever, bring them home. I'd have Joseph, hook them up or whatever. And either the picture would be all glitchy or they just didn't act right. I'd be like, I'm not screwing with it. And I'd just toss it right in the garbage can.
Mm-hmm.
I probably threw away a lot of money.
Even like controllers, like a lot of times, like, for example, like this isn't a controller, but it essentially is like a handheld game, which is a controller. The start button doesn't work on this. Like for me, all I got to do is take this apart, clean it out real good, because this right here is probably close to 30 years old. So a lot of times you just need to clean off the contacts with some isopropyl rubbing alcohol, because the contacts get so dirty over time that it pretty much makes it not work whenever you're pushing the button, because you can't start up many games with this because you need to like press start to start a lot of the old games. And the start button doesn't work. I've just kept this down here on the desk until I have time to actually open it up and clean it out. So cleaning does a lot of wonders for older stuff. So that one's actually my personal one, but I'll probably end up selling that because my my Game Boy Advance SP plays the original Game Boy games too. So I don't necessarily like. I like to have one of each like console system in my collection, but as far as the handhelds, there's so many variants that as long as I can play each type of game, I don't really care about having everything.
Yeah, there's a ton of different, just Game Boys and
Mm-hmm.
PSPs and
Yep.
all those. I mean, there's tons.
Even getting into like the DSs and everything like that. Like I have one cheap 2DS and that plays DS and 3DS games, and that's all I care about, to be able to play each type of game. So
Yeah,
I'll probably end up putting that up for sale once I get it refurbished.
Yeah, that's probably my goal. Like, remember we were talking the other day about like I don't really collect anything. I think I'm gonna finally just start collecting like gaming systems and stuff again. Because I have one. Well, actually, I have two. I have a Wii and I have an Atari 2600 that I bought, and I haven't busted them out to play them really, just to test a couple things. But I definitely want to get like an old school Nintendo.
Yeah.
And 64, because those are the systems I grew up on. And me and my buddies, like, even like probably about 10 years ago, we used to play like Mario and just see who beat the game the fastest or whatever. And I mean, that was fun, just doing all the tricks and everything, getting out of there.
Well, I originally, when I first started collecting, I collected every single system ever made, and then like that just got to be too expensive. And once I started reselling, I said, you know what, it'd probably be easier just for me to sell the stuff I'm not playing. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
Show Ryan some love, guys. You would. Then if you see Kelly, hit flip a mama, show her some love too. It's her birthday as well. So it's an awesome day. Two of my favorite resellers. But yeah, I started selling off all the stuff that I really didn't play much. The only stuff that I'll really go back and play often is like, because I have a lot of nostalgia for Nintendo because I grew up on Nintendo. So I make sure I keep one of every Nintendo system. That way I can play any game I want, like pretty much at any given time. The only one I don't have right now is the Virtual Boy. And the only reason I don't have that one is because it's probably the most expensive of the systems, and it like basically gives you migraines. You know what I mean? It only has like literally a handful of games because it was giving people migraines and headaches and making people sick. So I didn't want to invest the money. Like if I find it in the wild, that's definitely like one of my things that I want, so that I can add the one system I don't have into my library of stuff. But I'm not going to spend $200-$300 on something that honestly is probably going to make me sick. I just kind of want it there so I can say I have them all.
Right. I don't know. I've never really been into games since like the first Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
I kind of lost it after that. I mean, I play a little bit first person shooters, Call of Duty and stuff on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't even done that probably in over a year and a half, 2 years. Just haven't had time.
The newer ones like give me like motion sickness or whatever. I don't know if it's because I'm playing on such a big TV, but like it gets to the point where like either I have to go to sleep or I literally have to like throw up like to make myself feel better. Like so I just quit playing those games or whatever because I think it's basically like it's almost like a motion sickness because you figure if you're on a first person shooter and you got this whole 60-inch screen just moving and so much detail and everything, like it literally made my like it would make me like sick. Like so like I kind of had to like either go to games that were like you see the person walking around or like I don't know what view that would be, but you know what I mean, like that view, or like just games that the whole screen isn't like just you know what I mean, like that. So it's I think that's taken away some of the great experiences on the new systems that I can play a lot of the games with, because a lot of them are the best games. So
yeah, the old stuff's still my favorite, but I do have like all of like the current gen systems too, like the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Switch. I probably play the Switch the most because I can kind of just lay in bed and play it. You know what I mean? Because it's portable. But I also enjoy playing like the future Pickles, like the Maddens and the NBA 2Ks and stuff like that. Just because I'm a sports guy, but I just call them future Pickles because the minute you buy them, they basically drop in price drastically.
Right.
And then by the time the next one comes out, it's basically worthless.
It's like buying a car. You know, you buy a car and it's like, oh, this is a brand new car, 30 grand. Then you drive out the lot for like 10 miles or a mile, or the second it drops off that payment, and it's like boom, 15.
Yep.
And then just, every mile goes past it. It's like the dollar amount just keeps trickling down.
Yeah, it's like every year for my birthday, Ash gets me the new NBA 2K and the new Madden, and she handed me this year, and I'm thinking, like, the minute I open them up, I'm like, just think, this time next year, this is going to be trash.
It could be worth $3.
By my next birthday, these are going to be trash. It's
Right.
horrible to think of.
Like, I'll be able to sell these for $3 on eBay.
That's how it is with a lot of things, though. I mean, look at cell phones. Everybody wants to get the newest iPhone and pay $1,200 for it, and 6 months from now it's going to be worth not even half that.
Yep.
Well, the Apples seem to hold their value a lot better. That's one thing I definitely know.
Yeah, Apple's
following.
Yeah. I would say anything, like, once a new thing comes out, it always drops somewhat. But there's some items that just kind of, like, for example, like, one thing I really like about Nintendo part, unless it's like a sports game or something like of that nature where it's literally like a yearly update, it holds its value really well compared to some other systems and stuff like that. Hey, Tom. Yeah, so we failed to stay focused again. First, it was like you said meth candy, and I was like, ooh, tell me more. And then we got into like stuff we like the list and don't like the list.
One thing that I remember Lonnie talking about in the chat was like the dual monitor. I have to do that. Like, I don't know why I haven't done that. I should have just picked up one at a garage sale or whatever, and just went with it until I found a good clearance deal on one, and got something really nice, like how he has that. I think it's like a curve, like Samsung or whatever. Like, that's what I need, because when you're doing YouTube or watching YouTube, I like supporting people, watching people. So I'm doing that, and then I could source, or I could ship, or whatever. So this way, I'm able to do things so much easier. So that is something I definitely want to add to my my situation up here on my desk here, and and be able to give me more activity that I can do on both ends.
Yeah, I think my problem with that is I literally have no room for anything. Like, let me show you where my laptop sits. This is like literally that's the space I have.
Oh, wow.
Like, this is literally what I'm working with. I have like literally no room at all here. It's insane. So I need to figure out a way to like either get more space with where I'm at right now, or like one thing me and Ash are wanting to do is fix up the house to sell it so we can get a bigger space. Just because I really like the idea of working from home. I'd hate to spend more money to get a larger space.
Nate, Marcy's asking if you have a YouTube channel. You got a link for it?
Yeah, she's up to me. I'll put a link in the chat just in case anybody else wants to check out my channel. I'm
gonna show you guys my setup here because I'm kind of proud of it.
It's got to be way better than mine.
But like that's my invoice computer. This is my barcode printer. That's my labeler for labels. There's one monitor. There's two monitors. There's three monitors. So like the backup view is kind of like that's my setup.
That's awesome.
It's kind of dark.
Considerably better than mine.
So it's nice because I can watch YouTube, list on one, research or cross post on the other one.
Yeah. You know what you don't have though is a pretty pink TV.
I don't have a pretty pink TV.
That's right.
Although I thought about mounting a TV up on my shelves over there, so maybe I'll get one of them old school shelf designs and find me one of those. You know what I come across all the time are you see the Hot Wheels TVs?
Oh yeah.
They're Hot Wheels themed.
Someone's giving away one just like the one I have, the pink one. Only it's like a Winnie the Pooh one, but it's like close to an hour away. I'm thinking about going to get it and selling it, but it's really like $40, so it's not worth it.
Is it towards me or is it
I think it's like near St. Mary's. I don't know how far you are from there.
I don't even know where that is. That must be.
It's like heading out towards Du Bois.
Okay, so that's probably up north. Yeah, that'd probably be like an hour and 15 minutes or something for me. I was gonna say if it was close to me, I'd just pick it up for you, and then when we meet again, you know what I mean. This way you wouldn't have to drive out.
Yeah, no big deal though. I appreciate that though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing that for you. I mean, we meet up from time to time. Plus, we should be meeting up in soonish.
Yeah, have a good day, Tracy.
Set up or whatever.
For sure. Well, yeah, I definitely need to do some sort of stuff today. Ash is off. That always like kind of kills my productivity as far as listing. Just because when she's home, she likes to spend time because she literally works almost every day of the week. So what I typically will do is I'll stay down here and I'll list for a couple hours, and then I'll probably spend the rest of the day with her. So I'm going to throw up some stuff. I got to get shipping done and out of the way yet still. I woke up late today.
Do you have like a I know you like everything in your basement, but do you have like a spare room that you could put some stuff in?
We do have a spare bedroom. The only problem is Ashley's turned that into her closet.
Oh, okay.
So it's literally like it. And the problem is it has a big closet, but she's turned the whole thing into the closet.
Oh, okay.
Like, she has clothing racks that we've like bought out of like stores that are going out of business, like lining the walls, and it's basically turned into a walk-in closet at this point.
Oh wow.
She was mad because I kept my base in there. She was like, "Why is your base in my closet?" I was like, that's our spare bedroom, babe."
That's what we want to do. We want an extra bedroom above having an extra bedroom, because like our house is fairly small, and what we have for a closet in our bedroom is basically a hole that's fulfilled underneath, like where the stairs go to the second floor.
Yeah. So
it's just this. We got like maybe 2.5 feet of hanging room for each one of us, and it's like there's just no room, and then we can only have room for one dresser in our bedroom, and then we got a pedestal bed that has drawers underneath there, but that's a pain. And we're like, we want a room that we can just turn into a closet room.
Yeah,
just to have our clothes and a place to sit down and get dressed, and maybe she can have her little makeup mirror in there or something. But I mean, because I got a lot of clothes. When you're a thrifter, you get a lot of, I like those and it's cheap, so I'm gonna buy it. So I mean, I got tons of clothes, I got tons of shoes, but no place to go with any of it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, if you had like an area, like how basically like I do my like I try to keep my unlisted inventory in this room I'm in now, but I have some stuff that's listed. I just haven't finished my transformation yet. I put that in my basement, and then I keep the stuff that needs listed in front of my face. So this way I'm like, okay, I got to get this listed, because if I had it in my basement, and I'm not really in my basement unless I make a sale, but for the most part, or there's a issue in my basement. So that's the only time I'm down there. So
I pretty much live down here. The problem is when I first started eBay, I did everything in my dining room. Like that was like basically the central location of the business. And quickly the entire dining room was overran with inventory, and it spilled out into the living room being overrun with inventory to the point where like literally like my wife wanted to castrate me over the fact that the house was just looking like hoarders lived there. And she was like, "You're moving this crap to the basement like ASAP." So that's when I kind of started moving everything downstairs, and I've just got to the point now where there's no more room down here.
Yeah, like when I go RA shopping for Amazon, like this room gets crazy, like because I'm taking stuff off shelves. I have like extra inventory, and I'm taking tags off and bags, and it gets insane stuff. Some stuff I keep, and then I got to put back on the shelf. So like my wife gets so mad because this room will get. I mean, it's bad now. Like it looks a little rough right now for sure, especially the stuff that's back here, the tubs and stuff. So that's some stuff I got to go downstairs and some other stuff. And
Well, that's one thing I like the idea of Amazon is the stuff that I'm bringing in is going right back out, like ASAP. So that'll help. I've also gotten a lot pickier about the stuff I'm buying for eBay. Before, like if I could get it cheap, I would take anything. And that's kind of where I've gotten into the point of like, I really don't feel like listing this. I really don't feel like doing that because it's going to take X amount of time away from this or that. And what I really need to do is I just need to take a full day and just get this place organized and, you know what I mean? Like everything where it needs to be. I've started a little bit with, doing the zipper IKEA bags. I don't even know if you guys can see them now, but like I've like labeled them. Like I have 8 bags just of plush, and I think only 3 of them are listed right now. So like there's going to be like a major influx of like name brand plush in my store, like probably in the next month or two. And only two of those 3 that are listed are actually like in my listings telling me where to find those. So now I know if I sell a plush and it doesn't have the like PB whatever bag it is, it's in the one that's unlisted yet. I mean, that's not set up yet. But yeah, I have so many of those little projects that I need to do that for me, I've thought it's better just to throw stuff up on eBay and then I'll focus on all this stuff later on. But like it's getting to the point now where it's hard for me to even get to my listing station without like moving crap out of the way. So yeah, like one day this week, it's literally going to have to be let's just like declutter day. Like I said, that's what I've loved about doing these Monday night auctions with Tommy while Derek's been out is it's given me the opportunity to kind of just declutter, putting together, like 5 to 10 lots a week and just wholesale stuff. Like get this out of my basement. I don't care what you bid on it. Just, I want it to leave. So.
Yeah. Like with Amazon, I mean, depending on how you shop too, like when I buy stuff, I'll buy like 5 or something, but I'll send like, depending on the ranking or whatever, I'll send say 2 in or something, just kind of like test it. Because I don't want to send in something a 5 or 10 and it sells once a month. You know what I mean? So sometimes there's no FBA sellers or whatever. So there might be some little extra inventory, but also, like I said, it also depends on how you shop. So, because like I always bring up DG Picker on how when he bought like just 2 of those, Funkos, and then he went try to go back and get more. I don't want that to happen on a couple of the items that I have, and I don't mind sitting on them because, they will sell, in a decent time frame, no matter, because of the ranking that they were and they still are. So, just for me, it's just like it was some test buys or, maybe some stuff that maybe I shouldn't have bought, but it will sell. I'll put it on eBay and if not, a lot of the stuff I buy, I can either use or give to the kids, and they'll be more than happy to take it off my hands.
I think one thing I'm going to do soon too is probably not this month or maybe even not next month, but at some point, depending on when I can get a good deal on some storage lockers. Like I plan to start buying storage units if I can like get them cheap, and by cheap I mean like sub $25, and close to my house. Like it has to be. Like I just missed out on somebody sniped me on Saturday. I was so mad. I almost got one for $5 that like looked like it had some promise to it.
Yeah.
But they literally sniped me in the last 30 seconds, and I just they sniped me so quick that it was hard for me to log in and get them back. So so I missed out on that. But that would have been like literally 5 minutes from my house. In that case, I would have kept the storage locker, and I would have moved all of my unlisted stuff over there. And that way, when I go to the post office, I could just bring a tub home every day of stuff that needs listed. And then as it's listed, I could start putting, it into shelving and, however I want to go about doing that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I want to go. But I also want to have the unit so that way I can buy other storage units and just start putting all my unlisted stuff over there. And then kind of just making my house like the place where I bring the stuff to list and I have it until it sells.
Right. Yeah, that's like the whole storage locker thing. And like we were talking about my dad's warehouse yesterday. Using my dad's warehouse might be something I might implement really soon, just with the RA and just having like a quick pack area, you know what I mean? And because it's starting to, it just gets kind of hectic and messy, like, just how I have everything in this room for the most part. So
yeah,
I really need to do like what you said. I need to take a day and just really sort things out and go through my stuff that's listed, not then, and my stuff I'm going to keep that's Amazon related, I'll keep it up here or at least mark my tote or whatever. So this way I know what's what. Because if not, then it'll get stuck in the basement until I find it again, which who knows when that happens. We all do that from time to time. Probably have an item or two we're go, oh, there that is.
Yeah. I think the problem for me is I'm going to have to like get really like in depth with it. Even like I have all of these drawers, like it goes like literally probably 5 feet in the air, just drawers stacked on top of each other. I want to go through and label each one of them and then go inside and every single item there, I want to look it up and like see drawer 1, drawer 2, drawer 3, drawer 4, drawer 5, drawer 6, or, and so forth. And that way if something sells, I know which drawer it's in. I want to do the shelves like Lonnie has, you know what I mean? Like shelf 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keep going, you know what I mean? That way I know if it sells, okay, it's on that shelf. Because I've had issues with that. Like I sold it was called Antivirus. I got it at Goodwill for $1.99. It was I think it was one of those days where it was one of the colors that was on sale. I never heard of it. It was like a weird game. But I sold it the other day on eBay, and I can't find the thing. And I knew it was right on this first shelf here. But whenever I started adding the plush bags onto the shelves, I had to rearrange stuff so that way the plush bags could fit on the shelves. And now it's like I have no idea where. I had to cancel the order and basically just tell the person that I either sold it on Macari or I lost it, which sucks because I got like $21 for the thing. And like it was a game that I never even heard of. So
that would hurt. I
know it's here somewhere because I checked my Macari and I don't have a sold for it there. So it's definitely here. I just can't find it. I don't know if it fell behind. Like I was literally trying to clear off the bottom shelves and like trying to like stick my head under to like look to see if it was behind there, and I just can't find it anywhere. I know I'll end up finding it when I clean, and then I'll end up being sad because it already sold and now I have to wait another year for it to sell. So I've had that game for a long time. Like I got it last winter, like thrifting, and it finally sold, and now I'm gonna have to wait till next winter to sell it. But yeah, I definitely think a storage unit's going to be in my future. We do want to get a bigger house with multiple spare rooms. That way I'd have like maybe an office room, and then maybe the basement would be the kind of storage like this is. I think that would be helpful. I'd be a lot more productive that way. That way I could at least grab a tote and come do my thing. But I mean, even getting a bigger house, I think, would help because we have a really small house. We only have a 2-bedroom, and it's reasonably small, So we definitely need to get a bigger space. The problem is we can't do that until we fix this one up because I'm not selling the house for pennies on the dollar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I want to make enough to where I have a good down payment on another house.
Yeah, that's the only way I would be able to, sell my house or whatever would be
Yeah.
same way. You know what I mean? Because if not, because any investment or anything you put in the house, it's basically going to double for the most part as long as it's in the right areas. So it would be like a reselling situation. It's a reselling situation for sure because you're putting money into investment to flip to do that. So it's the same thing as what we do on a daily basis, basically. It's getting the most out of your value, and that's one way for housing to get it done for sure.
Yeah, so that's our plan here. So that's like a kind of like a back burner thing, getting a new house. I know I'm going to have to get storage in between there. The problem is when you live in Pittsburgh, and I know Tommy will understand this, and Nate, you live in Pittsburgh, so during this time of year, who the heck wants to go back and forth to a storage unit every day whenever it starts to get cold and snowy and whatever? So I'm really hoping that I can wait till spring to get a storage unit, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, especially an outdoor one. I mean,
yeah,
you have slush coming in your unit, like everything. You wouldn't be able to have anything on the floor, and then you have to worry about mildew and mold and stuff like that. Like you would have to have an indoor one in our area, which I mean, there's a few places around me which I know about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if there is one that's indoor like that. So, like it's mostly outdoor that I've seen around us.
Well, the one that's near my house, it's indoor and outdoor, but the indoor ones are almost on like a vending machine like system, where like you key in your code, and it'll actually go and grab your unit and bring it down to you. So it's not like something I can easily access, especially if there's multiple people there, where I can go in and spend time doing stuff or whatever. So that's the issue. And then the other ones that you can have your time and do whatever with, it's literally an outdoor, not temperature controlled unit.
Right.
And that's the one that's closest to my house. Like they have other ones that have indoor facilities that are really nice, but then you're talking driving 15, 20 minutes each way every day. And I don't really want to do that. If I could come up with like something like Justin has over at RVA Flips, where he says literally it takes him like a minute or 2 minutes to get to his storage unit. If I could get something like that, I'd probably already have one, just for like the sanity of like my house and kind of getting things the way it needs to be. I would probably already have one because I have too much stuff already. But I just, like I said, the closest one to me is probably at least a good 5 minutes away driving, and it's like more of like a vending machine type thing. Like you can't just walk in and to the temperature controlled ones. You basically got to key in something, and then it goes and grabs your thing and brings it to you.
Yeah, I never even heard anything like that before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sounds like it's not going to take 5 minutes to pull down. Like I'm sure, depending on how many mini storages, like I'm sure it's probably as many like storage boxes or whatever, like that sometimes you can get them dropped in your house, like near your house or on your property
or whatever.
Well, I mean, like it has a lot of regular storage too. It's just outdoor. You know what I mean? Like it's basically like you'd be storing in a garage, But the temperature controlled stuff is all inside of a vending machine type thing.
Yeah, I've never heard of that, but I'm sure that takes time to pull yours out and everything. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Like
I actually rented one a couple years ago there, because this is whenever me and my wife moved into the women's recovery home that we ran for a while. But then we ended up renting our house out to people that were going to our church. And since we were giving them a discount, we basically said, well, we're going to keep half of the basement just to store our stuff so I don't have to keep paying for this, storage locker. So we had one of the vending machine ones at that point, and I just moved everything back to like a corner of my basement, and we gave them our house basically furnished because they didn't have like anything. So, but yeah, we had a little bit of experience at that facility just doing that.
I was supposed to have Comcast come to the house yesterday. I didn't even come.
Really?
Yeah.
They even call?
Nope.
Sucks.
Like everything else came like basically perfect, but that was an issue for whatever reason. So I guess I'll have to call Xfinity before work.
Boy.
We were having problems with our internet last night when I laid down. Everything we do is streaming. We don't have like paid TV or nothing. Man, and it kept like reloading the stream every minute and a half. I had to get up and reset everything just so I could fall asleep to something.
Now, do you use your own router, or do you just use the router that they give you, like that's connected with the router or with your modem that you have or whatever?
No, we use our own router. I actually went out and got a really good router that manages multiple streaming and stuff better than just like your standard Linksys or something.
Yeah, the ones that they give you like with your service or whatever, they charge you for the modem and the router, and if it's a combination, it's just you get charged for one thing, but you get charged $10 or something a month just for that usually.
Yeah.
And then it's could be one that's been sitting in someone's house for 6 months or a year or a couple of years. Sometimes they'll just throw whatever they have on the truck, and now you have old technology running your internet, which if you do anything like we do, streaming or live shows or anything like that, it's going to kill your space or your speed, I should say, and it's not going to make it for a good time, especially you have kids, so you got multiple users.
Right.
I have one, two, three, either 3 or 4 people at one time, in my household that, with different things, and we have multiple devices. So like I'm using 2 or 3 right now on the Wi-Fi and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And my kids are watching YouTube on the TV right now. They watch their little Ryan's World show, and they're checking out merchandise for me. They're helping me source right now.
Yeah, we have a high demand on our streaming. I have like 230 meg down, but we need it, and we utilize a ton of it because there's times where I'm streaming and Destiny's streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
And you got the kids on their devices or watching Netflix or something at the same time that we're doing our streaming. So we need a ton of bandwidth.
I can imagine.
So kind of looks like we're winding down here. So
Yep, we'll be back on my channel tomorrow, guys.
Yep.
Haven't set up a topic yet, but I'll definitely get one set up here soon.
Usually pretty good at coming up with that.
But yeah, it's not going to be any issue.
You fellas got any final words?
No, not that I can think of. I think I dropped a video today. If I remember correctly, it's one of the ones from when I was with Derek. I think it's pretty much just an hour of him digging through toys. So
you're going through bins of toys, man. I watched it this morning. It was
cool. So yeah, if you guys want to watch Derek dig through some toys, feel free to swing by my channel and see that video.
Hey, there's Hip Flip Mama. Happy birthday, Mama.
Happy birthday.
There you are. Happy birthday. We've been waiting for you to come in to wish you the happy birthday.
I was hoping she was coming in. If not, I was going to go find her or wherever she was at.
Yep. It's birthday girl. Kelly, you have a joint birthday with Ryan from Thrift Mine.
No, for sure. So, all right. So thanks everybody for coming in. Love seeing all the names and people in chat. See you tomorrow on Anthony's channel, and have a wonderful, wonderful, productive day.